Hey guys, this is Gunner again. Say,
And this,
alright. Okay, say your name.
okay. My name is Adam Heyman.
AKA.
Lookman 3733.
Or 31 if you want to know what his YouTube
Or
channel is.
that for Fimfiction, which I am a terrible writer. And you know it.
I know, I read
one of them.
I read one of your stories and it actually has a pretty good premise.
Yes. Horny dying Twilight is a great premise for a story based on a kids show. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna do a story that's been on the featured box, and it's a foalcon.
Yeah, I have no. That's ridiculous that it was featured. I mean, it's disgusting.
Yeah, there's also even an incest fic that's been on the featured box. I think there was a few.
Wait, was that the one with shining armor and Twilight?
Yeah, that.
I'll send you that one to read if you want.
Hell no.
What? It's a cute story.
Still, incest no bueno. Well, anyways, I'm gonna try to read this crap again because I can't hold this off any longer. And I don't care if my mom finds out that I'm a pervert. I don't really give a shit. I just need to read these.
Yeah.
Okay, How to Handle Grown-Ups by AP. Are you at the story?
Some of it, yeah. It's interesting, to say the least.
Okay, here we go. My heart was racing. I knocked on the door again, resisting somehow the urge to begin pacing. I simply stood outside the entrance to the rich household. Internal panic planted by a stray thought threatened to overtake me. What if he had found another babysitter for her daughter? What if he had taken her with him? No, I thought. No, there was no way that could be the case. I had to see my princess tonight. There was no possible alternative. Oh no.
Burn in hell, you sick bastard.
Yeah, exactly. The door opened and I almost let out a condemning sigh of relief. Instead, I put on a casual smile and relaxed, all my fears alleviated. There you are, filthy Rich says, motioning me inside restlessly. I thought you were going to be late. I stepped into his home, my smile morphing into an apologetic one. Yeah, sorry about that, Mr. Rich. I had a few errands to run today. The pony seemed unconcerned with my excuses as he ushered me into his living room, obviously preoccupied with his own thoughts. I gave the room a cursory inspection. As usual, everything was spotless, far from the extravagance one would expect to see employed in a family as wealthy as Mr. Rich's. His house is practical and solid, augmented only by the necessary furniture. There was a decided lack of gaudy baubles that indicated that Mr. Rich was a man who never spent a single bit on anything he didn't need. The plainness of the room only served as a contrast to the being of beauty and form that lay sprawled in the center of the floor, idly leafing through a fashion magazine. Oh crap.
Oh jeez. Oh, Twilight has sex with herself? Dark tragedy human?
What? Dark trip.
This one looks pretty bad though. There are 7 likes, 40 dislikes.
Shit. But seriously, how does a masturbation fic have dark tragedy and a human?
I have no fucking idea.
The story is called That Feeling. by dramatic. Oh.
That's the Sweetie Belle one I was telling you about.
Oh.
What?
Huh. Oh, you should see his avatar. Dubstep, eat bass. Which is pretty much it's pretty much a parody of Subway Eat Fresh.
Zombies eat flesh.
Oh man. Well, since this story is incomplete for now, I don't know if I should even
wait on it.
consider it. I don't know if I should consider reading this.
Well, you should read the one with Twilight's horn once I fucking find it.
Well, since it doesn't have any actual sex in it, I'll read it.
Yeah, I mean, she's basically just getting a horn job from Applejack
while she's sleeping.
Yes.
Which is pretty much considered rape, I think.
I think so too, but I mean they use it for health reasons, the way humans do.
Yeah. Yeah, they say masturbation's natural.
Yeah, which is why I haven't been sick for 2 years.
Oh my god.
What?
I don't know. It sounds plausible, but I don't want to go any more detail into it. So I'm just gonna keep on reading.
All right.
Diamond Tiara glances upwards, rolling her eyes and making an exaggerated display of her disgust at my presence. Diamond, go to your room, Mr. Rich commanded. Apparently lacking her usual augmentative streak, the filly stood up. I was unsure if that emphasized stretching and yawning that followed was for my benefit or was just deliberate hesitations of a passive-aggressive Diamond Tiara. Regardless, I took full advantage of it. My eyes ran up and down her as she stretched and flexed her toned body taut. I couldn't help but think about how much I wanted to grab this curvaceous filly and rub down every single inch of her alluring body, ending the routine with a little shake of a rump. It was difficult to keep my breathing regulated as my heart began to beat harder. Rich noticed nothing as I leered at his daughter, already fucking her in my fantasies.
Oh my god. Burn in hell, you sick bastard.
Oh shit.
Oh,
yeah, this ought to be fun.
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay. She finally rushed from the room, brushing past the two of us, and...
Is that the flood?
What?
Oh my god, what the fuck?
What?
Let's see. The flood in Celestia's Lady Parts.
What?
Well, you played Halo, right?
No, I don't play Halo.
Oh, then you have, okay, then a parasite in her crotch.
Ouch. That has to hurt. Alright. And don't leave until he says you can. Filthy Rich shouted after her as the door to her room slammed shut. The pony sighed. I swear, that girl sometimes. He walked through the living room towards his luggage, all neatly piled in a corner. I swear, that girl sometimes.
Found it.
Oh, 2 strokes of a unicorn's horn. I will consider that.
Yeah, let's see.
Well, since it's pretty much non-consensual masturbation, so...
Yo, I love the end line of this.
The purple unicorn stretched and yawned again. She nuzzled her head against the pillow and smiled. I can't wait to hear their excuse tomorrow. Wait, she knew?
Yeah, she was basically half awake.
Oh, shit.
And she didn't tell him.
Oh, no. Okay, well... Okay, back to this.
That's really fucked up for a fan fiction about a little girl show.
Yeah. Well, hey, everybody's fucked up in their own way, so...
Yep.
Listen, I know how my daughter is sometimes. Only
A total cunt?
If only if you knew. He leaned over, picked up a briefcase, and slinged it over his head. His voice is lower and solemn, a tone of resignation. Every babysitter I've ever had, whether they were expensive nannies specially requested from Canterlot or some neighborhood teenager, she's had them pulling their mane out and quitting within a week. Good. If he was still saying things like this, it meant that he had no idea about the true nature of the relationship between me and his daughter.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Seeing
Oh,
him...
you bastard.
Seeing him struggling with his next bag, I rushed over to help him with it. Thanks. I don't know what you're doing different, but well, I guess I'm just saying that I know Diamond can be a handful sometimes. An image of me squeezing a handful of Diamond's flank flipped through my mind, but it was gone as soon as it came. With no change and a comfortable smile, I wore a mask, and I appreciate that you're able to handle it. He made for the door behind in his schedule. Oh, it's no problem, Mr. Rich, I said. There's something very special about your daughter. It's really my pleasure. He managed once last glance backward, looking comforted. Then he was gone, rushing out the door and slamming it shut behind him.
Wait, this was for everybody? What the fuck?
What?
What?
What was
the one that was sent to you said, oh, he changed it finally. He changed it good.
Okay.
Yeah, because when we found it, they had it as rated for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, the horn one was rated everybody. He changed it to mature. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, probably a good thing.
Yeah.
373 likes and 15 dislikes.
Nice. Okay.
Canon show, maybe?
I don't think that'll ever make canon.
Technically, it did.
No,
but
Sweetie Belle did not orgasm.
Not in this context. Remember when Sweetie Belle was really excited at the train station?
She did not orgasm.
No, but she squirted.
Still, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, she was pretty much so excited, and when the magic came out, we were pretty much every brony was like, "Yay! She's finally learning magic."
Yeah,
Same thing
but
with
some of them were thinking the other thing.
Of course, because they're perverts.
Yeah, sick bastard should be burned to death.
Yeah, sure. Hold on. Let's see, where am I? Okay. Okay. The house was still for a few seconds, the only sound being the excited beating of my heart and the faint ticking of the grandfather clock that stood in the corner. Then, sure enough, Diamond's door creaked open and I heard her bounding down the hallway. She entered the room and already I felt myself grow hard in anticipation of what was to come.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Diamond walked over to me, and I stood perfectly still, prowling around me like a predator playing with her hapless prey. She dragged her two-toned tail all over my pants, resting it against my crotch for a brief second, longer than normal. Finally finishing her inspection, she stood in front of me, sparing a glance at my aching tent before turning her eyes upward to meet my face. Well, she asked, sounding annoyed and raising an eyebrow. I whimpered quietly to the expected word and nodded at her, reached into my pocket and wrapped my hands around a large leather bag. She smiled when she heard the bits clacking one against one another as I pulled the bag out into view. Her eyes grew wide, and for the first time since I arrived, a look of genuine excitement and happiness was evident on her face. She stared at the heavy bag of coins as I made to pull it on top of the bookshelf as usual, but she halted me with a word. Wait! Instantly I stopped. Do you think you owe me for the show I put on earlier? I saw you staring at me like a dumb animal, she said, smiling slyly.
He is a dumb animal.
But he pretty much has a disease, which is...
No, he doesn't.
Isn't...
It's a preference, not a fucking disease. That makes me so fucking sick. People think pedophilia is a disease. It's not. It's a sexual preference. Put them in jail for a lifetime, scumbags.
Well, 10 to 20 is pretty much considered a lifetime for a sex offender, so...
Yeah.
And pretty much I know...
shoot them in the firing squad. I don't give a damn. They should be... They will burn in hell anyway.
Or they can be in an episode of Law & Order SVU. Okay, back to the story. The option to argue never really entered my mind. I just nodded, assured that she was right and enraptured by her beauty. Opening the bag, I fished out a few of the bits and dropped them into her waiting hoof. 4 bits? She stared at them disgusted. I get more in allowance every day. She threw them to the ground, one of them rolling across the floor and hitting my shoe. I let you leer at my body like a horny dog, you pervert. Obviously, a filly as beautiful as me is worth more than 4 bits. Actually, I'd rather think Sweetie Belle is more beautiful than you. As if I needed anything further than her word to agree unconditionally to her demands. She sat down and ran her hoof centrally from her chin down her body. Soon a large handful of bits is flowing from my hand to the ground, pulling into a pile in front of Diamond as she stared at the glittering gold. Her eyes sparkling with delight. There, she said, her purring voice sent shivers down my spine. That's better. Oh, man. You realize all that is going to be mine by the end of the night, right? She giggled as she brought her hoof even lower, rubbing her immaculate and unsullied marehood lightly, causing me to simply stare at her, everything but my own lust forgotten. She deigned to detach herself from my pleasure for a few seconds longer before jutting her hoof out towards me. It was a thin coating of her own arousal on it now, evidence of her own excitement. Well, 35 bits, she smirked. No pussy's worth 35 bits. Even if it's with an underage whore.
Wow.
Hold on. Diamond Tiara was back to the sprawling, lazy posture on the floor, bored as she paged through the magazine. This time, however, this was an ever-growing pile of bits next to her, and I huddled behind her. One of her slender, perfect hind legs in my hand, and the other furiously massaging my aching erection through my jeans. My my tongue ran all over her hoof. This was the last of them that I had brought the honor to touching with my mouth. With increasing daring, I directed my oral attentions higher and higher up her leg, taking in all the taste and scents. I could taste the expensive imported perfume, probably bought with my money, and reveled in the shampoo she used to make her coat shimmer, and I inhaled deep. And there, right there, faint, almost undetectable, but there nonetheless. The unmistakable damp, musty, and addicting ambrosial aroma of an aroused Phillian heat. I went.
How she aroused?
I don't know. Maybe she's in heat. Actually, if she was in heat, she would be fucking that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, like Scootaloo did in one of them. You remember the one called My Little Problem?
Yeah, that was a good story.
Oh, here is Twilight in Heat with me. Yeah, you remember that one with the Twilight's mom.
Oh right. Oh
yeah.
But
I also.
I see another one too.
The regular vector I used for it. Yeah, but back then
I want to see your other one.
I was still a blank flank.
Wait a minute. How did Rarity find out?
Wait, this one?
No longer secret.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the clean shipping one.
Thank you. I based this on my elementary school girlfriend. Twilight's personality fits very well.
Well, wait. You have seen her, right? The photo?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen her.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. Well, now she is. I mean, she was 8 when we were dating.
Damn.
What?
Man, you actually got someone when they were kids. I never had anyone.
Yeah.
Even after graduating high school, I never had anybody.
Yeah, this one's my shitty office.
There was one that was actually okay enough, but she moved back to Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, she is still here, but she longer remembers me. I mean, it's been like 13 years since we've last talked. And it sucks because she's gorgeous now.
Probably. Yeah, and that girl I'm talking about, probably my mom wouldn't improve because she was 14.
Oh.
But this was back when I was in high school. I think I was probably 17 or 18 around that time. But
okay, well, that's less creepy.
Okay, back to this shameful bullshit.
Yeah, no kidding.
I whimpered and almost came in my pants when the odor hit me, but I restrained myself, at least in that regard. However, I was incensed to get an ever greater reaction out of her, and I nibbled on her leg with even greater force. Her tail, her beautiful, perfectly combed and kept tail, flicked out of the way for a split second, so quick, if I blinked, I would have nearly missed it. The thin slit that comprised her marehood was revealed for a brief, indescribable moment. A thin stream of liquid was leaking from it, pulling from the floor beneath her. and a perfect blistering pink tunnel. I wanted nothing more than to fill and coat with my cum again and again.
Oh my god. Kill the bastard. Kill him with fire.
Kill him with fire.
Yes, kill him with fire.
Okay. Wait a minute, where the fuck am I moaned desperately and loudly into her furred leg, eliciting a quick, condescending giggle from her. She had a remarkable stoicism to being aroused that I simply can't match. I wonder if it was me causing this effect on her, or more likely, if the pile of golden coins she is laying on her said that she is intoxicated by. Of course, it's the gold coins. It's the gold coins. Because she's a whore.
Yeah. She likes silver and gold.
She leaned over occasionally and nuzzled or shifted through the money, making me think that the gold was her ideal lover, a worthy surrogate for the pathetic, grasping human currently getting off on tonguing her legs. Yeah, the gold is more appropriate to a little filly than a pedophile.
Man, Frosty the pervert. I love that song.
Yeah, same here. Too cowardly and broken to sweep her into my arms and make her mine right in the middle of the floor. She had dismissed me as a non-entity. Only the recompense I supplied mattered. So pretty much whatever she says, like products that she wants, she would tell him to do, like, get it, you know?
Yeah.
So because she doesn't treat him as an equal.
Yeah.
Okay. Lust and desire had occupied all higher brain functions at this point, and the only thing I could say were primal phrases and clumsy admissions of my desires.
Oh, jeez.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's a human twist CLOPFIC too.
Oh, I know.
What?
But I've heard of it. Like, is it from Yago 7?
I think so, but I'm not sure.
Because if that's the case, then he made the other fanfiction I'm gonna be reading too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Here's a cringeworthy line.
Okay.
God, I wanna fuck you so bad, Diamond.
Kill him with fire in a firing squad.
If he was put to death by firing squad, he should live in Utah. I pleaded into her leg out of my mind. She turned her head around to look at me. Oh, she asked coyly.
Here in Texas, kids carry guns.
Well, I'm not from Texas.
Here in Round Rock, kids carry guns.
Of course they get free guns every time they buy liquor.
Stereotypes are so much fun.
Yeah. I like making fun of stereotypes. They're fun. Even when they're
tentacle porn.
Yeah, that's what the Japanese are good for. Lolicon and tentacle porn.
Yep. And let's see. What else? Oh, crazy chicks.
Crazy chicks.
Yeah, and then fake young girls.
Oh, you mean robots?
Kind of. The singing holograms, whatever the fuck they're called.
I don't know.
Yeah, but they are fake 16-year-old girls.
Okay.
That's a little bit that's a bit sick, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, I nodded, managed to detach my mouth from her hoof for only a split second. Yeah, I guess. Want to rut you so hard. Well then, I guess you can, she said, looking smug and satisfied. My wise eyed it in amazement, her words managing to halt my animalistic digression into near non-sapient lust. Did she just say I could? My hands immediately jerked to my belt, hurriedly unhooking it in an effort to free the erection that had been twitching and leaking ever since I laid my hands on the little filly in front of me. I finally had her permission to fuck her, the only thing I ever wanted in life. For 1,000,000 bits, she concluded mockingly, smiling the most malicious smile I have ever seen conjured in a pony. Oh my god. I would just say, fuck this, I'm out of here, I'm going with Sweetie Belle instead.
Yeah, me too. I mean, she's cheaper. Well, plus she is prettier too.
Yeah, totally. Even when she's covered in luster dust.
Especially when she's covered in luster dust. Oh, fatty pie.
What now? Fatty pie? What?
Yeah. I mean, this is just gross to me.
Yeesh.
What?
That was creepy.
And then possibly 14-year-old Twilight.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah, she looked extremely underage in this photo.
Maybe not. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she looks like she is about 13.
But she has breasts.
Yeah.
And she's probably like in her mid-teens, probably late teens. Okay, let's get this shit on the road.
Yeah.
I stopped my frenzied fumbling to remove my pants and simply stared at her in shock and disbelief. I wasn't sure why her little game surprised me this time. She pulled something like this every single time I had been here with her. However, not even this could hold me. As I picked up, began making out with her hoof once again. Of course, there's no way you'll ever save up that much money. Not whenever you're spending all your bits every single week to lick my hooves. She concluded as I engrossed myself in doing just that. Hey, she shouted a few seconds later, sounding annoyed. My gaze is torn from her rump.
Hey.
Oh no, you're a perv.
No, it's a photo. It's a photo caption.
Oh. What? A fitted to caption? Oh.
Oh,
I'm saving that.
do you have the one with Rarity in bed with the crystal ponies saved?
Is it sexy or involved, or is it Rule 34? Because I don't save Rule 34.
No. This one had the text that says something like crystal balls were only good for fortune telling.
I don't think you've sent me that.
Ah, crap! I want to find that again. That was hilarious.
Okay. Now back to the main thingy. My gaze was torn from her rump to her eyes. I saw her looking at my tended erection and my hand vigorously rubbing it through my pants. Did I say you could touch yourself? Ooh, you're gonna pay for that. She jerked her hoof out of my grip and stood back up. At this point, all four of her legs were soaked. Her coat damp and dripping with my saliva. It took all the willpower I had not to lunge forward and grab her rump, to pull her close and rudder right now. My chest heaved up and down, annoyed as annoyed as I was by her sudden interruption. The only thing that flooded my mind now was images of the little filly orgasming and writhing under me as she screamed my name. Just hope it's not my name.
Yeah, really.
That fantasy didn't match the real calm Diamond as she wandered over to the couch in an annoyed trot, leaving little puddles of my saliva with each step. The clock in the room chimed, ringing several times as Diamond rubbed her legs clean on the furniture. Geez, she complained. You just spent the past hour licking my legs. How pathetic. I nodded swiftly in agreement, reaching for my bag of coins to buy another session between myself and her delicious hooves. No, she declined half interestedly when she noticed. I'm gonna need a bath now. Disgusting. Go run my water. Oh, wow.
Damn, she is really good. That's very scary stallion for Queen Chrysalis.
Uh-oh. Here comes
yes,
another.
Her husband.
Either that. No, I think he's more of the gender swap version.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the thing. Okay. The bathroom was soon hot and humid as I lifted Diamond up gently and lowered her into the bathwater, tempered just right for her. It was hard to breathe. The heady and intoxicating fusion of fragrance oils into the air was nearly overwhelming. Diamond didn't seem bothered. She pranced and splashed in the tub, displaying an incurious innocence as I stared at her, panting. My erection hadn't subsided. If anything, I was harder and more desperate for release as I stared at the most beautiful filly in the world. Her mane now wet and rolling down her body, and her tail now sopping and clinging to her body, giving me a perfectly clear view of her untouched pencil-thin slit that was only a few hues of pink lighter than the rest of her body. I stood up and began to take off my shirt. What are you doing? Diamond was immediately curious what had taken my attention away from her. Too hot. She gasped. I gasped in way of explanation, tossed my soaked shirt to the side. The pants were next. Off they went. Now standing there and just in the underwear clinging to my body, my hard-on was finally free, and it bobbed up and down. The small wet spot could be seen near the tip, evidence of how much pre-cum I had leaked earlier, nearly rubbing myself to orgasm through my pants again and again.
Ew.
Yeah. Diamond stared at me for a few seconds, the look on her face indicating that she was going to challenge my actions, but then simply shrugged and went back to giggling and playing in the tub. I sat back down and was content to stare at the soaking wet, slippery filly prance around the tub, knowing full well how much it would cost me if I were to take out my cock and jerk it without her permission. If I gave in to the nearly irresistible temptation, I know that nothing could recall me at that point. My cum will be splattering against the side of the tub as I moaned Diamond's name. You know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna whip it out.
Yeah. Oh God.
No, not really. I'm just saying. Fuck what Diamond says. I'm gonna whip it out, jerk it, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if I have enough money. I'm just gonna say fuck it. Yeah, she used to be the submissive one. You know, Diamond said after a minute, it's only proper for a babysitter to help watch the person he's taking care of, isn't it? My dad has to be paying you for something after all. With obedience substantiated my desire, I agreed wholeheartedly. Soon a soapy washcloth was in my hand and rubbing down up and down Diamond's tiara, while my other hand gripped the side of the tub in an attempt to occupy it from other more carnal activities. The pony began to mewl and coo as I rubbed up and down her body, her hands shaking with excitement and my heart on throbbing. I mean, every time I squeezed her body and ran my hand down her flank. The sentence sounds affected my mind, and Diamond swaying lightly, her eyes closed as I lathered her body with expensive soaps. My hand drifted to her rump and gave it a rough squeeze. Diamond's eyes shot open as she turned around to look at me. She was annoyed. The glare she was shooting at me was made that obvious. However, I wanted her so bad that Barn in immediate order to stop and continue massaging her plump butt. It had just the right amount of give. My soapy fingers sinking into her slightly as I squeezed. I had to bite my lip just to stifle a moan as I bunched up her tail and lifted it out of the way to give me better access to her hindquarters.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Both of my hands were now massaging Diamond Tiara's rump. I spun her around to place the object of my attention closer to me. As I stared in awe as she allowed me to run my greedy, horny grip all over any part of her body I wanted. God damn. I was compelled to utter as I squeezed and caressed her, worshipping her rump. She had stopped looking at me, but now her annoyance was tinted with a vague amusement. I wanted nothing more than rip off my underwear and fuck this little evil sexy filly while she was sopping wet. Yeah, speaking like a true nymphet.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck. So hot, I murmured. Ooh, what a smooth talker, Diamond said sarcastically. Do you talk to all the little kids like this, or is it just me? That gets you so hot and bothered you can't even think straight. I grunted in response. It was only whenever I took a step too far, my thumb running up and down the length of her slit, feeling its improbable heat even in the already stifling bathroom. She didn't tear her rump away from me. That's enough, she said forcefully, smacking me in the face with her wet tail. Geez,
with a hoof.
Geez, the little filly just wants you to give her a bath, and the only thing you can do to fill her up is thinking about rutting her. You really are just a stupid, horny animal, aren't you? Well, you're making him like this, and it's not his fault.
It's your fault too. Don't just blame him.
Well, it's not really his fault.
Yeah, it is his fault. I mean, he is a sick human being.
But yet, I guess there's like some factors like on how he became a pedophile, but I don't know how. Maybe some older woman jerked him off.
Oh God.
I don't know. She leaped out of the tub and onto the floor, nonplussed by my whimpers and agreements. The sudsy mixture she was still partially coated in leaked onto the floor as she reached for a towel. Please, Diamond, I begged as she began to towel herself off. She turned towards me as if she had just noticed a spot of dirt on the floor. Please what? Please, let me come, I said, surprised at my ability to articulate in the state I was in. I need it so bad, just let me touch myself. She laughed. Does the stupid mutt want to shoot off already? Was giving an innocent, adorable filly a bath too much for him? Now he has to jerk his cock to the thought of her. She didn't need to hear my desperate pleading affirmatives that yes, that was exactly what he had to do to know. It'll cost you lots. I slipped out of my underwear to show my willingness to pay whatever price necessary to get off. However, she said, emerging from underneath her towel as she dried her hair, while my free hand flew with indistinguishable desire to the base of my cock. If you can last 5 more minutes, you can do it for free.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I think I would rather say, fuck this, I'm out of here, I'm going to jerk off in my own house.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
I tried to wrap my head around this as my fingers wrapped around my needy erection. I wasn't concerned about the price, but more money meant more playtime later. Besides, I had lasted the greater part of 2 hours. Surely another 5 minutes would be within reach. Yeah, I decided as my hand, almost with subconscious need, began to slowly stroke up and down. 5 more minutes. There was, unfortunately, one thing I hadn't figured into my internal evaluation of my own self-control. Diamond Tiara really, really likes money. And what a whore.
Yep.
After a half a minute of slow, unrestrained stroking, she started her game. I can't believe it, she griped as she shook her rump a foot from my face under the context of drying it off. I can't believe you're thinking about having sex with a little kid like me. That's all you can think about anymore, isn't it? I bet you go home to jerk off thinking about me sitting on your face, lowering my dripping slit into your mouth. As if her point needed any more emphasizing, she switched her tail out of the way and gave me a full view. Or do you touch yourself wishing that I was there doing it for you? Is that what you want? Do you want these dainty little hooves that you love so much to grab your cock and jerk it until you splatter all over my face and drip your seed all down my legs? She laughed mockingly. That'd take forever to get out of my coat. Do you really think I'd ever let you do something like that? She dropped her towel, her fur coat still a disheveled mess.
3 million bits.
Oh my god. With fierce determination tempered by a characteristic grace, Diamond marched toward me. She walked between my sprawling legs, now just inches from where my hand was moving slowly up and down. I ran her hoof along the inside of my thigh, infuriatingly inching closer and closer to my cock before backing away and running back down. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to plead her to stop, or pray that she continue. So I uttered the only coherent and cyclic thought I managed all night. Fuck. Oh, that's it, isn't it? You just want to fuck me like a pony in heat, don't you? Yeah, I'm sure that what you're thinking about right now, just pushing my face into the mud and taking me like a stallion would. I can't believe you're thinking about coming inside me right now. You want to fuck me and fill me up with your cum until I'm leaking. You know I'm just a filly, right? You want to knock up a filly? That's like so disgusting. You really are a pervert. You can't knock up a filly.
Yeah, I mean, she's a bit too young for that, and that would hurt like a bitch for her.
Yeah, and besides, you can't even knock up a pony anyway.
Yeah.
Well, unless magic's involved, so there's that going for you.
So grab Twilight.
Huh?
So grab Twilight. Actually, she would murder him.
Yeah. Okay, back to this heinous display.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was enraptured. My hands disobeyed the increasingly futile orders of my mind to stay calm and ignore the beautiful pony spilling out my fantasies right in front of me. My mind, however, is soon captured in the same trance, seeing the only acceptable thing to do was to come for this pony. I was stroking my cock harder and harder. The euphoria of orgasm began to flicker around the borders of my consciousness, sending a shiver throughout my body. The faint and final warning to slow down to ebb an oncoming climax was completely ignored. I think what I would do, I think I would just keep my hands away from my dick as possible.
Yeah.
And pretty much she will bitch at me, but I wouldn't care. I will try the last 5 minutes.
Meh.
Even if she is actually, even if she would like try to do whatever she could to get money, but I'll try to hold it in, even though it'll hurt so bad. But yeah, that's what diddlers think, but you know. Okay. I was stroking my car. Okay, I went through this again. Diamond was absolutely delighted when she saw the pace of my masturbation pick up and smiled wide, knowing she had won. Actually, I think my mouth will be good enough for you, don't you think? Would it be nice to just fuck my mouth and shove your cock down my throat? To hear me gag and whimper and moan around your pathetic dick as you splatter a load against the back of my throat? You'd probably be spurting in a heartbeat if I started licking you. She leaned in closer and closer with each word. Now she was just a fraction of an inch away from my cock. She could feel her warm breath each time she exhaled, teasing me in just how her hot mouth would be. Fuck, Diamond, I'm close. She managed to communicate through my I managed to communicate through my panting. Already? She snorted in derision. You must really want me bad, huh? Well, go ahead, you fucking pervert. Come all over me. Make sure you get some in my mouth. I want my tongue coated in your spunk. She stepped back and opened her mouth wide, sticking her tongue out. Yeah, I had to do it.
Oh, God.
I couldn't help myself, not needing any more encouragement. I walked myself off to those final few seconds before I reached the point of no return. A jolt of pleasure shot through my body as I cried out in an articulate moan, with body shuddering as my balls contracted. I looked on in lustful amazement as I spurted my load all over Diamond Tiara's face. Or would've if she'd still been standing there. She leapt away at the last second, leaving the thick strands of cum I was finally able to release to splatter all over the soapy bathroom tiles. What a bitch. Yeah,
Wow.
I think I'm actually starting to
That
feel...
guy's sick in the head.
I think I'm actually starting to feel sorry for this guy.
How?
Not only the fact that he's a pervert, but he's pretty much in a relationship like this. He's pretty much in a relationship like this. I mean, very abused. It's like very like emotionally abusive, or verbally or emotionally abusive. Even if it's with a kid, I still feel sorry for this guy.
Wow.
Okay. Diamond didn't even give me time to catch my breath. Aw, 3.5 minutes, she informed me, looking at the small clock that hung on the wall. So close. I guess I'm just too much for you, huh? She laughed that demeaning and impossibly arousing laugh of hers. Bitch. Well, I can't say I blame you, but we had an agreement. That'll be 100 bits. The look on her face was both amused and disgusted as she stared derisively with my own twitching cock to the sea I sprayed all over the bathroom floor.
Oh, wow.
I laid panting, body still tingling in post-coital bliss. Ah, you're pretty much making him do this, you fucking bitch. She gave her body one final shake to clear all the water from it and threw all of her hair from her vision with a flick of her head. I'm hungry, she complained. Why haven't you made me dinner yet? You really should clean this mess up and get on with that. With that, the filly turned from the bathroom and in a clearly satisfied trot left me there. I was sweaty and naked and gasping for air and tingling like I had just spent the last hour fucking some insatiable whore, while a perfectly clean and unsullied filly had just come from harder than I've ever come in my life, marched from the room. Jesus Christ.
Kill it with fire, please.
Yeah. This is why I like fooling around more than this.
Yeah.
Maybe that was an image needed some form of analysis later, but for now, my princess was hungry. Wow, you're even treating her like a fucking princess.
Yeah.
Diamond was back to sitting on the...
Killing her with fire.
Of course, you would like to kill him with fire. Fire.
Of course I would. Wow, that is a very expensive mouse pad.
Uh-oh. Let's hope this thing is still recording. Diamond was back at... Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a $600 mouse pad.
Yeesh. At least I don't have a mouse pad. I'm actually using this table.
Yeah, mine is one of the Blue Trace wireless mice with a wireless keyboard.
Yeesh. Shit.
It's not coal.
Okay, back to this. Diamond was back to sitting on the floor, her new a new tablet in front of her. I sat on the couch behind her, leg twitching as I mirrored her disinterested literary pursuits, leafing through one of Mr. Rich's quarterly business magazines. We had both eaten already. Our dinner consisted of a collection of juicy fruits that Diamond was sure to eat as seductively as possible, while I started to stared at her with a look of blank and base lust. Her homework was completed, by me of course. We were both dressed now, her having put on an adorable pair of pajamas. The sun, on orders from Canterlot, was beginning to lower, and I knew Mr. Rich was probably be home within the hour. My gaze was drawn repeated to the filly lazing on the floor, and she shifted back and forth, humming softly to herself. If it wasn't for this growing erection in my pants, this would look just like a normal babysitting situation. Yeah, why can't you just be a normal babysitter?
Yes.
Diamond's pile of coins she earned throughout the night has been stacked neatly beside her, but there was still a small amount left in my bag. I considered that maybe this weekend I'd actually go home with some money, but the hard-on that I was idly kneading through my jeans suggested otherwise. Diamond must have felt my eyes undressing her because she turned around and looking at me right as I heft in the bag of bits to judge my contents. She smiled and she noticed me massaging my cock. Still horny? All I'm doing is sitting here, and you still can't stop thinking about me. 10 bits, and I'll take off my bottoms. This girl was determined to have my bag of coins as empty as my balls by the end of the night.
Oh my god.
10 golden bits soon piled onto the floor in front of Diamond Tiara. Joining them on the floor was Diamond's pajama bottoms, pulling around her hind hooves as she arched her back and stuck her rump straight in the air. I fished my dick out of my jeans and began slowly stroking myself to the Little Pony show.
Ugh.
Hey, too bad this is not a donkey show. From Tijuana.
And then Filthy Rich walked in the house.
If only that were true.
Wait, that's not true? You're kidding me.
I'm not gonna spoil it for you, just let me finish it.
Okay, fine.
You know, you're so lucky a pretty girl like me lets you jack off to her. Diamond said, her nose still in her magazine as her rump swayed back and forth. Normal guys would go after a girl their age or a species, but you're so perverted that you would have to milk your cock to an adorable little filly showing you her rump. I bet if I let you fuck me right now, you wouldn't even be able to stop if my dad walked in. I wonder what he'd think about his trusted babysitter jacking off to his daughter on his couch. Oh man. Diamond Tiara was obviously enjoying this almost as much as I was. In the torchlight that illuminated the room, I could see a thin stream of lubrication beginning to leak from her slit. Say, we already had dinner. What if I let you eat me out for dessert? She winked at me. I stared at her, amazed. She never let me do something like this before. It only cost you 300 in a flash. I was off the couch, magazine violently discarded. I appended the leather bag in front of Diamond, causing a waterfall of gold coins to flow in front of the filly. Her eyes widened and her smile grew in this growing cavalcade of coins, knocking over her carefully stacked piles of bits and added them to the mess. Soon the entirety of my money was laying in front of her, and I stared at it, smile as wide as can be. She nuzzled and snuggled into the pile of coins.
Cleaver for a banana? What the fuck?
What now?
You sound really confused right now.
What? There's another flavor for a banana? Really?
No, it's this guy was using my using the the ThinkPad
I could see a pad
tablet and a cleaver to cut a banana.
Oh, okay.
That's a bit odd. What did you think I was talking about?
What? Some person managed to put some flavoring into a banana?
Oh.
I don't.
What would a cleaver taste like?
Like metal?
Probably.
Okay, she nuzzles and snuggled into my pile of coins as if it were the world's most comfortable pillow.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I would be like, oh, screw this. She only wants my money. I mean, why do this? Why do this bullshit anyway?
Nah.
I, meanwhile, had my comforts. I seized Diamond Terra Satiny rump and lifted her hind legs off the ground, burying my face in the area that had been the target of my desires and fantasies for weeks. I inhaled deep, taking in the aroma of a horny filly. It was sweet and spicy and intoxicating and perfect. I couldn't help but have a taste. My tongue darted out and ran the length of her slit, lapping up the lubrication she was leaking. It tasted just as exquisite as it smelled, and soon I was devoted to the task like it was a necessity. Licking her pulsing velvety marehood and sticking my tongue in as deep as I could in her improbably tight snatch. My dick throbbed beneath me, but I had the much more important palate for my attention in front of me. Oh god.
Somebody please kill him with fire now.
Unfortunately, there's no such thing as hell in Equestria, so. Well, if you
there is, because they had the three-headed dog in
right. If you count Tartarus.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that place or the moon.
Yes. And then, we should set him on fire on the moon.
or go back in time and put him on the Challenger when it exploded.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Hold on. I heard her groan slightly into the pile of coins. Her Haiti demeanor was cracking and falling in front of me within a minute of my tongue meeting her pussy. Obviously, I was doing a good job. She was beginning to push herself upwards back into my face, eager to provide me with greater access. Don't. She gasped, stumbling for words as I withdrew from its side and resumed licking her outer lips with slow, long strokes. Her legs were twitching uselessly in the air. Whatever message she was trying to communicate was blundered and stopped, cracking into squeals and stammering onto a torrent of the new pleasurable sensations I was forcing her to endure. I considered for a moment stopping and allowing her to regain her composure, but then I realized I paid for this. I was going to make this little filly come if it was the last thing I did.
Oh my god.
With this goal firmly in mind, I directed my care towards her tiny unexposed clit, giving it a swift lick.
And she yelped.
Yeah. Which elicited a gasp from Diamond. I paused for a second before nibbling on it gently. Uh-oh. That drew a shriek. The proud and reserved pony was reduced to a mess as her hooves smacked the ground as she was forced to bite her lip or halt her new articulations of lust. Her face was buried into the pile of coins in a futile hope that they would mask her scream. Not so rough, you animal! She spat, muffled at me, angrier and more turned on than she'd ever been during our quote-unquote playtime.
Oh, God.
Oh, good, it's still recording. I couldn't help but wonder if she'd mind if I lowered her rump onto my prick. With how wet she was, it'd probably slide right in despite how tight she was. The way the muscles of her walls contracted and squeezed my tongue promised that if I stuck my cock into her right now, her body would betray her and try to milk me for everything I had. However, the fact that the poor fool was still shivering and shoving her rump into my face forced me to put aside such selfish thoughts for another time. Crap.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh, here comes a string of swear words. I pressed my tongue out against her clit once again, drawing another moan from a writhing Diamond. Fuck, she moaned, mirroring her verbal inarticulacy she forced on me earlier. It was an easy thing to deduce, based on the warm liquid coating my chin and the way her whole hindquarters spasmed under my grip, that she was close to orgasm. Her descent to vulgarity continued as I refused to relent. Fucking faggot, she moaned into the pile of coin. Does this, oh Celestia, does this get you off? You're so lucky I'm letting you do this to me. You fucking pervert, so pathetic. Oh yeah, she loves it.
Yeah, she is. She sounds really convincingly angry there.
Angry sex is best sex. She continued insulting me as she humped my face with her needy rump, begging me to get her off with her own body as she berated me in speech. Shouldn't you? Oh fuck. Being screwing a real girl right now, you have to use a little kid to get off? Fuck. One little final nibble on her clit, and all it took to send her over the edge. And cum was all that she managed before devolving into formless and primal screaming. A gush of warm liquid covered my already soppy face as she grinded into me. Her head covered in her hooves and coins to hide the scream of an orgasmic filly that echoed through the house anyway. Her entire body was quivering and shaking as I set her rear hooves back to the floor gently. They stood shaking for a brief moment before collapsing and completing the image perfectly. A once Haiti diamond tiara is now a disorderly and embarrassed mess. Her legs twitching slightly and her chest heaving, her ruffled hair clinging to her sweaty body.
Wow.
Oh man. Jeez, I need to put more accents into this.
And then Filthy Rich walks in.
Wait. I looked up into her eyes and as I lined up my cock with her wet tunnel. Her limbs were trembling in trepidation, and her eyes matched that. A heretofore unseen fear was evident in them. But I detected something else. Desire? Yearning? Whatever it was, she didn't tell me to stop as I prepared to rut her until she couldn't walk. I've seen what happens to her composure after the first orgasm. I wonder what will happen after the second, and the 6th, and the 14th. The sound of the gate outside opening stopped me right as I was about to slide into Diamond Tiara.
Oh,
Dad! She whispered breathlessly. Oh no. Quick, put your dick back into your pants and get to the couch. She pulled her. She pulled herself to her feet, panicking as I shoved my aching hard-on back into my pants. I grabbed Diamond's rump and pulled her pajamas back onto her as she was scooping up the coins into the discarded bag. She sprinted past the front door towards her bedroom as I wiped off my mouth and brushed down my clothes. Grabbing the magazine, I collapsed back down onto the couch, trying to act inconspicuous despite being covered in sweat and with a tended erection painfully trapped into my pants.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was quick. The door opened not a second after I flicked the magazine open. Filthy Rich entered his home, looking exhausted. I immediately stood up and ran over to help him with his bags. Oh, fuck. That was so close.
No kidding. I wish you got caught.
Yeah. Thanks, he said, with difficulty. Rough day. He wandered into the middle of the floor and practically collapsed on the spot where I'd been licking her daughter's rump not 3 minutes ago.
Ouch.
How are things here? Where's Diamond? Things are great here, Mr. Rich, I answered with a cheery smile. Diamond's already asleep, the poor thing. We had a lot of fun today, so she fell asleep early. That's an understatement. Rich.
Yeah, he should be jailed after that.
Jailed or burned with fire.
No. Jail and burned with fire.
What should you light him on fire and then put him out and then send him to jail?
Pretty much.
Okay. Rich nodded, satisfied. He picked himself off the floor after a minute with a groan. I'm really glad things went okay. I was worried that he stopped mid-sentence, picking up his hoof to look at what he had stepped on. Huh, a bit. Guess it's my lucky day, huh?
Oh, at least it was only a bit.
Yeah. I chuckled with him nervously as I wondered if that bit was currently slick with saliva his daughter drooled as I brought her to her first orgasm. Oh, speaking of, I guess I owe you for tonight. He stumbled over to his bag, clearly bankrupt of energy, digging through the pockets of his bag. He pulled out an ornate bag and held it out for me. When it dropped into my hands, it was clear that this was much more than I promised for the night. It was even more than I had paid Diamond Tiara the previous few hours. But Mr. Rich, I began, confused. Consider it a bonus, he explained with a weary smile. Anyone who takes as good a care of my daughter as you do deserve a little something extra. Oh, you could say that again. I nodded, pleased, and thanked him profusely. Maybe on some moralistic level, this something should have screamed out that Mr. Rich was as amicable and exemplary stallion, and that the acts I committed with his daughter were unacceptable. But right now, the only thing I could think of was what I was going to use this money to pay Diamond to do next time. Great, more sex. Well, or more foreplay. More teasing and foreplay. I hope you'll forgive my hosting skills, but I've really got to get to bed, Fritch said, making for the stairs. I'll see you at the same time next weekend, right? That's right, Mr. Rich, I responded. I gathered up my things and made to leave, but no sooner than I heard the door to Rich's room shut, I heard Diamond's open. She came creeping into the room just as I was about to step outside. Turning to face her, I saw that she had regained herself. Her hair was back to its coiffed state, and her expression was a dispassionate disgust she put on when she was around me. I simply smiled at her. She held out her hoof expectantly as she eyed the large bag of bits in my hand. The second's hesitation on my part was all she needed to launch her into lecture. Man, I don't want to hear your bullshit. I'm just gonna slap your face like a hoe and just get out of here. I already got my money.
Oh my god.
Oh, you still don't get it, do you? You're mine forever and ever. As long as I want to play with you, you're mine. I get to decide everything for the rest of your pathetic little life. If you're lucky, I'll get to spend the rest of your days milking your cock to me. If you're unlucky, maybe Daddy gets to hear why my rump is covered in your spit right now. Maybe Daddy gets to hear how many times you've come all over this floor and as you force me to display myself for your perverted desires. She held out her hoof even more commandingly, shaking it slightly. You wouldn't want to be unlucky, would you? Now hand over those bits. Oh fucking god. Sheepishly regretting that I had ever let myself think that I had control over her now, I dropped the bag of bits into her waiting hoof. Oh my god. Like you ever had any control to begin with.
Oh my god.
I think I would...
That guy's so going to hell.
I think I would just rather slap the bitch, grab the money, and just go.
Yeah, and then hide for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Unless there's another girl, of course.
Like Sweetie Belle?
Sweetie Belle will be too close to home. I think I would rather move to Manhattan.
Oh yeah, and then get Babs.
Somehow I knew that was gonna come.
That was interesting, to say the least.
Well, I'm not finished.
Oh, is there still more?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes, she said in a near moan. There's a good little piggy bank. Hopefully now you know your place. Mine, forever and ever. Don't forget it. She took one more glance at the erection evident in my pants, giggled derisively, and marched back toward her bedroom. I stepped outside, took a deep breath of the crisp air, and made for home, cursing each step I put between myself and my princess. And now we're done.
That was very interesting.
Yeah. Jeez, I really hate relationships like this.
Yeah, I mean, this one would have been way better if they were both adult ponies.
That and
yeah, like her and Pipsqueak.
I don't think Diamond Tiara would ever go with Pipsqueak.
Then who? I mean, he is basically the best looking colt in the class. I mean, the rest of them were either mentally retarded or fat.
Wait, what about that? Wait, remember that cult that was taking the pictures near the end of One Bad Seed?
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
That, or she could pretty much go all the way up to Cloudsdale and try to fuck Soren. Or go to Sweet Apple Acres and try to fuck Big Macintosh. Or go to the TARDIS to fuck Dr. Hooves.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Well, either way, this is actually a pretty good story. It was actually very well written.
Yeah, but the guy is so going to hell when he dies.
Unless he actually repents to God, I'm sure. But since this is pretty much stuff that you can't get arrested for anyway, so
I guess so.
Well, anyways, we pretty much have another story like this coming our way, so I'm gonna have to stop the recording for right now, and then I'll go back and I'll try to find the other story, and then we'll continue on from there.
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back with our other story, which will involve Silver Spoon.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm that
wait,
sick.
Wait, the same guy, or?
No, it's not from the same guy. It's from a different guy.
You know what? She is, yeah, she seems, friendlier than, Diamond Tiara.
Totally. Only,
Yeah.
yeah, she was pretty much. I mean, yeah, she was pretty much lunged into this because she doesn't want to get bullied.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like what happened to Babs, even though she didn't even get her cutie mark.
Yeah.
But ever since that episode ended, she's pretty much up the badass level.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna stop the recording, and we'll get back to the other story. All right.
Oh, this is a cute photo.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry, it's a clean one.
I hope it is. Stop staring so much. Oh shit. I mean, it's nothing too bad. It's just she's just hiding the fact that she doesn't have a cutie mark.
Yeah.
Okay. Now to stop the recording.